Welcome to another episode of Weekly Comic Reviews. I'm your host, your Canadian Comic Geek. And basically, let's start. And basically, this week, since it's the first week of October, we've got some really good issues. Some of them spooky. Are they easy? Can you easily walk into them? Some, not all. Oh well. Actually, when you actually think about it, only one comic we're reviewing that's kind of spooky in the bunch. So let's get down right to it. Okay, starting off the bat, and this is gonna be a bit of a 180 because I most notably review comics you might be interested in starting. Action Comics issue 24. If you look online, you'll actually see a much cooler looking character shooting Superman with his giant massive energy hand. And if you've seen my previous episodes, this is like the bad guy here is called Psycho Pirate. And if you have been watching my reviews, you know what I think about Psycho Pirate. Still, it's a weird one, and by that I mean this is part two, starting from a Superman story. And I'm sorry to spoil this for you. It goes, and if you want to go find out how it concludes in Superman issue 24, part 3. Why don't you just keep part 2 in the Superman title instead of just Action Comics? I guess because I didn't have any story ideas. Whatever. Still, if you do pick this up, it's a bit confusing, but it's very quickly understandable what's going on. Like one, like I should probably recap some backstory here. Like Lois Lane's in a coma, and basically her loved one, not Clark Kent, is waiting by her bedside, basically, and she wakes going Superman, and basically the two psychics who want to take over Metropolis one was knocked out, and one is dead. And by dead I mean Psycho Power goes, the Hive Queen, yeah, she's over there, 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 there. Yeah, she's basically honey. It's not as bad as what I'm describing. It's basically, she's now a pile of honey goop that exploded. Yeah. Well, besides the whole villains dying part, one villain being dead, yeah, or when I think he's knocked out or psychically drained, which is basically, yeah, Psycho Pirate. The entire thing, he makes it seem like he's a new superhero ally for Superman, like Steel, but no, he's not. He's planning on draining this the psychic energy from Superman to basically for his own nefarious purpose. And this is the one thing I do like about the news, about Psycho Pirate's new look. His Medusa mask does remind you of Medusa because of the snakes. Although art-wise, his head is confusing. His head looks really tiny. The back of it looks really huge. And he has these giant energy snakes, and it seems to me like they look like dreadlocks to me. Weirdly enough, it's like, what the hell is going on with your head? Yeah, that's my reaction to that. Of course, seeing a psychic bow in Superman's mind is intriguing, and it really shows how that psychics in the DC universe are a major threat. Wow. Also, for the fact I love that in some part he comes off as an evil serpent, and yeah, I don't know why. I just like that scene. It's like he's just basically whispering hisses to Superman as a snake, and it just has that little sense of creepiness. Also, if you are interested and if you want to read all three parts, third part happening later on this month, I'm gonna spoil one little thing. Lois Lane has superpowers. I'm not gonna say which, because I'm gonna let you guys read that off your own. It does sound like a cool idea, if you are convinced. Although I should say, my only thing I want to say before I move on from this is that I really hope that they don't make Lois the Jimmy Olsen for the New 52, kind of like how they and what I mean by that, I mean like back in the Silver Age, where in some issues Jimmy Olsen would end up with a random stupid superpower. I really hope Lois doesn't get like random powers every few issues. Like here, she has these powers. Like I hope that like if she loses these, I hope they don't give her new powers, just make her look stupid. Which would be funny, but still stupid. Anyway, this is kind of skippable for an Action Comics, but if you did buy Superman issue 23, which is like part one of this little story arc, yeah, pick this up. You probably won't get lost if you pick up the next Superman issue. Okay, this next one, like if you haven't already heard, um, there's a comic called All New X-Men, which is basically, of course, in my opinion, it's time travel done right. Yes, no, I actually do like the story. It's basically the original X-Men have been sent to to basically the main Marvel the presence of the main Marvel universe, and they're like, what the hell is going on? And have these wacky little adventures, like basically, and like this huge time gap, because I'm just saying this now, they're like these are the original X-Men. So apparently from their time and from their timeline, they're from the '60s. So basically, five teenagers from the '60s have been taken to the year 2013 or 2012. It got published back in November. Anyway, and there's like and recently since September, there's this huge start crossover with all the X-Men titles starting from September, ending in October, called Battle of the Atom. And it's just an amazing title because it involves more time travel shenanigans. However, we won't be reviewing that because I want to collect them all as a bunch and just read it in one go. That's how I roll. However, I will review one comic from the All New X-Men. All New X-Men Special, Issue 1. And this is gonna be a weird one, folks, because it's one of those like crossovers, and and the reason I'm saying it's a crossover because they did this before a few years back, where they make these where they have three titles where you have an annual or a special, and it just basically it is basically one giant team up with the main characters from the three books. Which I think like the last time I've seen that, which was Spider-Man, Deadpool, and the Hulk. And they end up in another universe, which it's just like bizarre. It was just really bizarre. Here, still a bit bizarre, but I like where it's going and how all the characters like are all connected. Because the story is actually called "The Arms of the Octopus," which basically, if you're wondering about that title, and if you can't figure out from that title, it basically, and you're probably wondering about all the characters, it involves the four original X-Men. I say four because the fifth one joined the current Cyclops and Uncanny X-Men. That was Angel. Yeah. So basically, the original team is teenagers of Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, and Beast, who they team up with the superior Spider-Man, who we all know is Doc Ock, and the indestructible Hulk. Or as some might like to call him, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, that does not actually... That sounds just as weird, I realize that. So, anyway, the main story is basically they're on, like, the four original X-Men are on a little bit of a vacation from their training from their current professor, Kitty Pryde. Yeah, isn't comics just weird and confusing? Anyway... As they're you can easily tell who the characters are, and it's easy to get into. Like basically, you get to see them all like hang out. Beast is like he knows he's gonna be blue and furry. He doesn't know he's gonna be gray and furry, but don't spoil that for him. And basically, he's trying to enjoy his pre-furriness while he can. And basically, he meets a nice college girl who was studying on time travel, and that apparently time travel produces gamma radiation. Because that's how time travel works. Anyway, while that's happening, you're being attacked by Doc Ock. But wait, viewers, you're asking, isn't Doc Ock in Spidey's body? Yes, he is. Which even furthers the mystery, because this current Doc Ock looks like he's also from the '60s, except he's now a giant gamma radiation reactor. So it's pretty much hard to touch him because he's hot to the touch. And not in the way you're probably thinking. Get your mind out of those gutters, people. Jeez. Although, I do like this. It is an amazing read, and it makes me want to actually collect the other two specials, which is within a few weeks would be Indestructible Hulk, and by the end of the month would be Superior Spider-Man. I like the fact that, you do know that Spider-Man's Doc Ock, or at least I hope you do. If not, that might be a little confusing anyway. Now this way, Spider-Man's Doc Ock. You can vent your frustrations here at the comment section. Anyway, I love how Doc Ock is saying he doesn't believe in time travel and thinks this Doc Ock is just a copy because there's no way this is Doc Ock. One, he doesn't even look. He's not looked like that in years. And plus, he could have totally kicked your ass. And I love the fact he thought that that the X-Men were clones. It's just funny. Although he would be his reaction, like time travel is non-existent. Hey, Rogue up and that look is like, oh God, no, don't tell me. And basically, they're trying to figure out what's Doc Ock doing here. Since he has a lot of gamma radiation, they get a specialist, the Hulk. I actually like this story because, well, it pretty much, you didn't really need to know who the characters are. It's pretty much, you need to know some characters are from the *60s, and I love how they all if you're a fan for most of the three titles, it's pretty much a fun read because on how well the characters interact with one another. I like how the fact that even the X-Men go, man, Spider-Man's scarier in person. And I can actually understand why. Well, because of Doc Ock, he is a very competent superhero. He's just sorry about that. He's a very vicious when it comes to fighting bad guys. And my favorite line out of the atomic book, this is my most ironic punch ever. As he punches the Doc Ock. So I'm actually intrigued in how the story goes and what's a much younger, non-beaten, non-close to death Doc Ock is doing here. Also, another favorite line is hearing Beast saying, "Oh my stars and garters." I miss those hilarious one-liners. It's like Luke Cage saying, "Sweet Christmas." It's just one of the things that's so stupidly funny it works. Again, it is a must-read if you're a fan of at least one of these titles. But if not, you'll still understand where it's going. So yeah, pick it up if you can still find it. All right, next up, and I sometimes the reason I was saying about the all new X-Men thing and that their whole multi-crossover with all the titles is I just like to stick with one title. I don't want to go out of my way and grab all the other titles just to get the story because then I'll be lost. And one was like, oh no, not another crossover. If you want to do a crossover, fine, but could you make it into a mini-series maybe? Oh well. Anyway, this new multi-titled crossover, and thank God it's only lasting a month, so this is just 5 issues, so we're starting with part 1 of Green Lantern issue 24, Lights Out, part 1. And, if you've been paying attention to Green Lantern, their rings things with their rings are getting weird, they're not working to 100%, or they're shutting down at the time, so it's alright, thank God my Green Lantern ring is basically keeping me safe from all this toxic gas. No, wait, crap, no! Turn back on! Turn back... Sorry, actually. throw it there. Anyway, you see Hal Jordan, who's now leader of the Green Lantern Corps, and they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Plus, they found Ion, basically the embodiment of willpower. Basically, looks like it's on its last legs and is trying to escape, like all the other, um, construct godlike beings of all the Lantern Corps. Although that's how we get started up. Like that's how you know it. Like this is still a Green Lantern title. What you should read to understand what the hell's going on, like how do we get to this point, is reading Green Lantern New Guardians, where you see Kal Rayner, who's a White Lantern, with Carol Ferris, the Star Sapphire, and the New Guardians. And by new, I mean these are the Guardians that no one knew of, and that the old Guardians are dead, because the Sinestro Corps killed them. And so basically, these new Guardians who have been hidden away for millions upon millions of years are now decided they have to be take the roles of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Except since because the previous multi-crossover story, Wrath of the First Lantern, and also the Third Army, everyone is afraid of the Guardians. Well, I have to say, I do like the way that these Guardians are dressed because they remind me of the Hobbit. Don't believe me? Look them up. They're actually hilarious. Like this is like hilariously scream, like we are the Guardians of all. We must destroy the One Ring to rule them all. They just look like those guys. It's funny. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Like they accidentally go to this one anomaly in the universe, which apparently contained a being from the old universe, which is basically a huge no-no because apparently people would figured out what the guy who was in the anomaly would do once he was out. This bad guy was called Relic, and if you've seen what my evil counterpart has done, he did a review on Relic, where basically explaining what he does or what the reason that he does. Like the reason he's doing all this crap, must drain all the lantern powers in the universe to save it from themselves. Also, for the fact that Relic is basically the size of Galactus, and I have to agree with my evil counterpart here. He does come off as Gary Stu, which seems a bit of annoying to me because there's not a lot of characters who could pull off a good Gary Stu. There may be one or two, but most of the time it's not really needed. It's like reading fan fiction where the one character is basically he's connected somehow in some way. He's all powerful and can kick anyone's ass with his powers, technology, or magic. Anyway, this actually starts off as something really entertaining. Although you might be a little lost because you might have to read most of the titles. That's a bit of a downer. Still, I don't mind this story. I'm liking where it's going, although I kind of think they should have maybe put it off a bit longer. The reason I'm saying it because we just got out of Wrath of the First Lantern. We just got out of basically saving the universe and saving the Green Lantern Corps along with the Red Lantern Corps, Sinestro Corps, and all the other corps. Here, it's just like, so basically basically Relic comes in, he basically goes on all-out attack on Oa, and basically Green Lanterns are losing, and if they can't figure out to fix all the crap that happened in this issue, Oa blows up. So again, that's an amazing read. But I kind of think it's a bit too soon, because they just got out of another story arc. I would have waited maybe a few more issues. Like maybe add in maybe for next year. But oh well, we're already here anyway. So again, Green Lantern issue 24. It's actually a fun read, and if you can pick this up along with all the other Green Lantern books, not Larfleeze, because he's doing his own thing. So basically, Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, and the Red Lanterns. That last part makes a look of sense. And also the Green Lantern Annual. I think it's going to be a fun read. I like to see how they deal with this guy. why I want to collect all the books so far. Okay, last one, and this is a little spooky, and that's what I was saying earlier. But well, maybe like a few of them are spooky, like this is one of the few. Although this one you can easily walk into because like it kind of picks up where the last issue left off. Yet you still read it as a standalone issue. What I'm talking is The Phantom Stranger, issue 12. Although currently, as you're seeing here, it's now called Trinity of Sin, The Phantom Stranger. Of course, I liked it better when they just called it The Phantom Stranger. It's less of a mouthful. Anyway, this is a Forever Evil tie-in. Kind of like the last issue, it was a Trinity War tie-in. And in a Trinity War tie-in, the Phantom Stranger, he tries to help out like Batman and some of the Justice Leaguers trying to basically take Dr. Light, who's now a good guy, but Superman killed him. Yeah, read Trinity War if you want to know what the hell I'm talking about there. Anyway, like he goes to heaven, they try to get information out of him, and basically he has been told, if you come back to heaven again, we're gonna have to erase you from existence, and he gets erased by Fire Sword. Freaking awesome. But here, man, I'm kind of questioning what God's doing, even though, like I know, like you always should give people like second chances. But I swear to God, he's giving this guy more than. I think he's up to his like 10th chance by now. You guys are probably wrong if anyone want to argue with that, but yeah, man. Anyway, story is he gets brought back into existence thanks to God, who's in the body of a schnauzer. Yeah, let that sink in for you. And basically, he's been told like ever since like he had a family. Again, read the Phantom Stranger books. They are a fun read. Like it has that dark and creepiness, yet it makes you want to read more. In a sense, which actually makes a really good series. For here though, like I like they say it's a one shot, but it's like well not really a one shot, like it's a starting point. Which apparently what I've learned a few days ago, it's only a 2-issue kind of thing. The reason I'm saying that because in December, he's gonna be part of another title crossover book. Sigh. I only hope that these actually could read as standalone issues as well, because that wouldn't be so bad. Here, he's just getting he's still getting over the fact that about all the crap that's happened to him in the previous stories before Trinity War, and also Trinity War because he died and came back. But he also meets other people. If you've been reading the Phantom Stranger, that the characters who did die, who also came back to life, are now kind of like grouped together in a sense, like buddies. It's like, so you died, huh? What's that like? What was that like for you? Still, like any of the Phantom Strangers, these are fun to read. I can't stress this enough. Like, I've been enjoying how this is going so far. And I love the bad guy, like the main antagonist of the series, called the Sin Eater. He is an amazing villain. Hell, he's burning down Phantom Stranger's house, and yet he's sitting on top of it like a boss. But he's also undead too, so fire doesn't technically affect him. Plus, he wears fire like a mask. Yeah. Also, the dog there is apparently, I'm assuming, is Satan. Because that kind of makes sense. If the Phantom Stranger has God as a schnauzer, why not have Satan as a Doberman? You can correct me on that. I'm probably wrong. Okay, a demonic Doberman, anyway. So this is a fun read, and like any of the Phantom Stranger books, pick this up because even if you are slightly lost, it is actually quite fun. Like how he interacts with all the characters, how he's a good guy, but no one can trust him because he'll eventually betray them in the end, and he needs to because he has to do this at least 30 times. And if you are religious, you'll probably get what I'm trying to say here. Yeah. So, Phantom Stranger, issue 12, is a must-read. along with any of the Phantom Stranger books so far. Hell, like next month, he's fighting the Question. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun to read. Anyway, I am your host at Canadian Comic Geek. I'm glad you guys were able to watch this along with any other videos I've been posting from the past to the future ahead, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.